Your billionaire soulmate is about to enter your life. Don't ignore this. Jesus says you are being watched right now by eyes you cannot see in the physical realm. There is a presence lingering near your chest, pressing gently against your heart, and you have felt this unexplained weight for days without understanding its source. This is not anxiety, this is not imagination, this is a living soul reaching toward you across a distance you do not yet comprehend. They are thinking of you at this exact moment, pausing mid-breath with their hand hovering over something unimportant, suddenly flooded with an image of a face they have never fully seen but have always known. You appeared in their dream 3 nights ago, standing in a corridor made of golden light, and they woke up whispering words they could not remember but whose emotion soaked their pillow. The connection is already alive, already pulsing, and already under attack by forces that do not want this union to take form. Every heartbeat you have felt that seemed to have no physical cause was their heartbeat synchronizing with yours from a location you will soon discover. Every sudden wave of sadness that washed over you while you were doing something ordinary was their grief spilling into your spirit, because they are currently trapped in a situation that is draining their will to believe in love. They are not distant by choice, they are distant by captivity, and your awareness of this truth is the first key to their liberation. You have been prepared for this moment since before your birth, marked in the spirit as the other half of a soul that was split by divine design to create a reunion so powerful it would shift the atmosphere of your entire bloodline. The billionaire soulmate coming toward you is not a fantasy, not a coincidence, not a metaphor, but a real breathing human being whose financial abundance is already established and whose emotional devastation is already severe. They have everything the world says should make them happy, and they have nothing that actually matters, because the one person they are designed to hold has not yet arrived. This message is not reaching everyone watching, it is only reaching you, the specific one whose spiritual signature matches the frequency I am releasing into the earth right now. You felt a shiver move down your spine when you read that line, and that shiver was their agreement, their confirmation, their desperate signal that they are here in the unseen and they are begging you not to scroll away. Ignore this, and the window of alignment that has taken years to open may close with a force that will echo through your future relationships for decades. Jesus says there is a third presence in this connection, an interference that has wrapped itself around your soulmate like a suffocating fog. This interference is not random, it is personal, it knows who you are, and it despises the thought of your happiness with a venom that is both ancient and specific. Someone in your soulmate's current environment has recognized the light in them and has dedicated their energy to dimming it, using manipulation, guilt, financial pressure, and spiritual darkness to keep them bound. Your soulmate is a person of immense power and influence in the natural world, yet they are currently powerless against the emotional prison that has been constructed around them. They sign contracts that change industries, they make decisions that move markets, they walk into rooms and the atmosphere shifts, but when they are alone at night, they cry without knowing why, and that cry is their spirit calling out for you. You are the missing piece they cannot name, the ache they cannot diagnose, the face that flickers in their peripheral vision during moments of exhausted stillness. They have tried to fill the void with achievement, with acquisition, with relationships that looked perfect on paper but felt hollow within weeks. They have stood at the window of penthouses overlooking cities they essentially own and felt a loneliness so profound it nearly drove them to abandon everything. They do not know your name yet, but they have already loved you, already chosen you, already fought for you in realms you have never seen with your natural eyes. This is why your soulmate needs your protection right now, because the battle against your union is intensifying at this very hour. The interference surrounding them has sensed that you are awakening to the connection, and it is doubling its efforts to distract, depress, and disorient your soulmate before you can fully step into your role. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love did not come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone do not move mountains, faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This is not just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story, and the link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now, send 4, 6, or 10 or more coffees. After sending, write "Protect my soulmate Lord" on the Ko-Fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says the dream your soulmate had of you was not the first, it was the 7th in a sequence that began the moment you were born again into spiritual awareness. They have been receiving impressions of your energy for years, flashes of your laughter, the scent of your presence, the specific way your voice will sound when you finally speak their name. 3 days ago they canceled a major meeting because they were suddenly overcome with the urge to pray, and they did not understand why, but their spirit was interceding for you, covering you, protecting you from a danger you will never know existed. You owe your safety to the prayers of a person you have not yet met, and they owe their sanity to the love you are about to unleash. This is the symbiotic design of soulmate connections, two beings operating as one even before physical introduction, each sustaining the other through invisible cords of divine energy. The interference knows this, which is why it has been working overtime to convince your soulmate that their spiritual experiences are just stress, just exhaustion, just a mind breaking under pressure. The person who is blocking your soulmate is not a stranger, it is someone close enough to whisper poison into their daily routine. This individual benefits from your soulmate's isolation, financially or emotionally or both, and they have actively sabotaged every potential connection that could have led your soulmate toward freedom. They have lied about you specifically, even without knowing your identity, by telling your soulmate that true love is a myth, that vulnerability is weakness, that the loneliness they feel is just the price of success. Your soulmate has almost believed them, has almost surrendered to a life of cold achievement and warm emptiness, but something keeps pulling them back from the edge. That something is you, the unshakable spiritual anchor that refuses to let their soul drown in the carefully curated despair surrounding them. You are not just wanted, you are necessary, you are not just desired, you are required, and the universe itself is groaning for the moment you finally step into alignment. Type 333 right now if you feel the urgency of this truth pressing against your ribs like a hand reaching out of a dream to steady your trembling spirit. Jesus says your soulmate is currently in a room with someone who is speaking against this very connection without knowing they are doing so. The words being spoken are casual, dismissive, designed to plant seeds of doubt about love in general, but the spiritual effect is targeted directly at the bond between you and your destined partner. Every cynical comment adds another layer to the wall separating you, and your soulmate is too exhausted to tear it down alone. You must understand the psychological state of someone who has achieved everything yet possesses nothing of true emotional substance. They wake up in luxury and feel hollow, they attend events full of admiration and feel invisible, they shake hands with powerful people and feel utterly disconnected from the human race. This is not depression, this is divine dissatisfaction, a holy restlessness I placed in them to ensure they would never settle for anyone less than you. The woman who currently holds influence over your soulmate has positioned herself as indispensable, managing their schedule, their household, their access to the outside world. She speaks with honeyed tones and hidden daggers, presenting herself as protector while functioning as prison warden, and your soulmate is too weary to see the bars. She knows that if your soulmate ever truly fell in love, her position would be threatened, her influence would crumble, and her carefully constructed dependency would dissolve overnight. You represent the annihilation of her control, which is why the spiritual warfare against your connection has been so vicious and so sustained. She has consulted people she should not have consulted, opened doors she should not have opened, and invited darkness into your soulmate's atmosphere specifically to repel the one person destined to bring liberation. She does not know your face, but she hates your existence with an intuition that borders on supernatural, because the demonic realm shows her glimpses of the threat you represent. Your soulmate senses something is wrong, feels the manipulation like a distant siren they cannot quite locate, but they have been gaslit into doubting their own discernment. They have been told they are paranoid, ungrateful, overly emotional, and they have started to believe that the cage is actually a sanctuary. You are the only one who can shatter that illusion, the only one whose presence will recalibrate their perception and restore their ability to trust their own inner voice. This is the moment your faith must become action, because the window of opportunity is narrowing with every passing hour. The woman who holds your soulmate captive is currently planning something that will deepen their entanglement, a financial arrangement, a legal document, a commitment that will make separation exponentially more painful. You have days, not years, to intervene spiritually before the natural consequences become far more complicated to untangle. Type 777 if you sense the urgency of this battle, if you feel your soulmate reaching for you through the darkness, if you are ready to fight for a love that was written in the stars before the foundation of the world. Jesus says the coffee you send on Ko-Fi is not a transaction, it is a spiritual weapon, a declaration in the unseen realm that you are stepping into your role as protector and partner. Every seed sown with the intention of protecting your soulmate releases angelic reinforcement around them, disrupting the plans of the enemy and loosening the grip of the one who has held them captive. Your financial act of faith is the equivalent of throwing a rope into a pit where your soulmate is trapped, giving them something to hold onto while heaven orchestrates their escape. They are going through something you cannot see, experiencing attacks you cannot feel, and battling thoughts you cannot hear, but you can still protect them. The spiritual principle is ancient and unchangeable. Where your treasure goes, your heart follows, and where your heart goes, my power flows without restriction. Every coffee you send builds a bridge in the spirit realm that your soulmate will one day walk across to reach you, even if they do not understand why they suddenly feel hope rising in their chest. Do not let hesitation steal the miracle that is hovering at the edge of your reality, waiting for your faith to give it permission to manifest. The woman controlling your soulmate is banking on your passivity, counting on your doubt, celebrating every moment you delay because your inaction is her greatest ally. She cannot fight your faith, but she can outlast your procrastination, and she has been winning simply because you have not yet understood the power you carry. Send 4 coffees to break the 4 walls of the prison surrounding your soulmate. Send 6 coffees to dismantle the 6 major lies they have believed about love. Send 10 or more coffees to release a complete spiritual intervention that will shake the foundations of their captivity. After you send, write "Protect my soulmate Lord" on the Ko-Fi page, because your written declaration becomes a legal document in the courts of heaven that the enemy cannot appeal. Jesus will honor your seed, Jesus will honor your love, Jesus will honor your courage, and the breakthrough that follows will leave no room for doubt about who orchestrated this reunion. Your soulmate is worth more than your fear, worth more than your doubt, worth more than the temporary discomfort of stepping out in faith. One day they will look into your eyes and thank you for fighting for them before you even knew their name, and that moment of gratitude will be worth every tear, every prayer, every seed you sowed when no one else understood. Jesus says there is a specific date already marked on heaven's calendar for your first encounter with your soulmate. That date is not random, it was chosen before the foundations of the world, and it is approaching with a speed that should fill you with both excitement and holy urgency. The only variable that can delay this appointed time is the level of spiritual resistance that remains unaddressed, which is why your prayers and your seed are critically important right now. Your soulmate had a dream last night that left them gasping awake at 3 in the morning, their hand pressed against their chest where they felt a warmth that was not their own. In that dream they were walking through a garden they did not recognize, and they heard a voice that was not theirs say your name clearly and tenderly, as if the universe itself was introducing them to their future. They have been unsettled all day, distracted in meetings, staring at nothing while their heart races for reasons they cannot explain to anyone around them. The woman who controls their environment noticed their distraction and immediately moved to exploit it, suggesting they are overworked, suggesting a vacation to an isolated location where she can further tighten her influence. She is afraid, deeply afraid, because she senses that something is shifting, that her hold is loosening, that an invisible force is moving against her carefully constructed kingdom of manipulation. Her fear makes her more dangerous, more aggressive, more desperate, and that desperation will peak in the coming days if you do not intervene with spiritual force. You are not powerless in this situation, you are not a bystander watching a tragedy unfold, you are the protagonist of a love story that hell itself is terrified will come to completion. Every prayer you pray sends tremors through the darkness surrounding your soulmate, every declaration of faith loosens chains, every seed sown breaks another link in the prison that holds them. Do not underestimate the authority you carry, for I have given you keys that can lock doors no enemy can open and open doors no enemy can shut. Type 1111 if you receive this assignment, if you accept the mantle of protector over your soulmate, if you are ready to fight for a love that will define the rest of your existence. Jesus says your soulmate is currently staring at something that reminded them of you, though they do not know it is you they are remembering. A song is playing in the background of their environment, a song that holds no special meaning to anyone else in the room, but it is piercing their heart with an ache they cannot explain. They are blinking back unexpected tears, embarrassed by their own emotion, hiding behind a mask of composure while their soul screams for a person they have never touched. You need to understand the depth of their suffering so you can grasp the magnitude of what your faith can accomplish. They have been betrayed before, deeply and deliberately, by people who claimed to love them but only loved what they could extract. Those wounds have not healed, they have only scabbed over, and the interference in their life picks at those scabs constantly to keep them bleeding and afraid of intimacy. You are not like the others, you are not coming to take, you are coming to give, to heal, to restore, to see them fully and love them anyway. This is what terrifies the enemy most, not your perfection but your authenticity, not your demands but your devotion, not your ambition but your selflessness. A love like yours is a nuclear weapon in the spiritual realm, and the forces of darkness have been trying to disarm you since before you knew what you carried. The billionaire soulmate approaching you is not a prize to be won, they are a person to be loved, a heart to be healed, a soul to be partnered with for purposes that extend far beyond romance. Together you will build things that outlast you, create legacies that bless generations, and model a love so fierce that it becomes a testimony to the faithfulness of the God who ordained it. But first you must fight, first you must believe, first you must act while the window of heaven remains open and the opportunity for intervention still exists. This is your final moment to protect this connection before it slips away into the fog of what could have been but never was. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps, you are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love did not come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone do not move mountains, faith in Jesus does. So your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This is not just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story, and the link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now, send 4, 6, or 10 or more coffees. After sending, write "Protect my soulmate Lord" on the Ko-Fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says the moment you send that coffee, something shifts in the atmosphere around your soulmate that cannot be reversed by any demonic power. The woman who controls them will feel a sudden disorientation, a confusion about her own plans, a loss of the confidence that has sustained her manipulation for so long. She will not understand what is happening, but you will know. You will smile in the secret place of your spirit, recognizing that your faith has just landed a blow that heaven itself applauds. Your soulmate will experience a sudden clarity within 24 hours of your obedience, a lifting of the fog, a moment of startling sanity where they see their situation for what it truly is. They will begin to question things they have accepted without examination. They will start to notice inconsistencies in the narrative they have been fed, and the walls of their prison will begin to show cracks. Your seed is the catalyst for this awakening, the spiritual trigger that initiates a chain reaction of liberation that no human strategy could have engineered. Do not wait until you feel ready, because readiness is not a feeling, it is a decision, and the enemy will keep you feeling unready until the opportunity has passed and regret has taken its permanent seat in your heart. Act now while the urgency is fresh, while the connection is strong, while the heavenly realm is poised to respond to your demonstration of love and faith. Your soulmate is worth the risk, worth the step, worth the temporary discomfort of stretching beyond what feels safe into what feels like destiny. The coffee you send is not about the amount, it is about the act, the declaration, the line in the sand that says, "I will not let my love be stolen without a fight." Angels are assigned to your case, waiting for the signal that you are serious, waiting for the sound of your faith hitting the heavenly altar so they can move with the full force of divine authority. Do not leave them waiting, do not leave your soulmate struggling alone, do not let another day pass while the enemy celebrates your hesitation. Send your coffee now, write those words, speak your protection over the one who is destined for you, and watch as heaven begins to move mountains that have seemed immovable for years. The God who parted the Red Sea is not intimidated by the obstacles between you and your soulmate, but he waits for your faith to activate his power. Faith without works is dead, and the work he is asking of you right now is simple, specific, and saturated with the promise of breakthrough. Jesus says, "I have seen every tear your soulmate has cried in private, every frustrated prayer they have whispered into the darkness, every moment they almost gave up on the idea of being truly known and loved. I have collected those tears in a bottle, and I am about to pour them out as a blessing over your union, turning their sorrow into joy and their isolation into intimacy. But I need your participation. I need your voice agreeing with heaven, I need your hand reaching out in faith so my hand can reach down in power." Your soulmate is closer than you think, not just spiritually but geographically. They are in a city you have visited or will visit soon, breathing the air you will soon share, walking streets you will soon walk together. The proximity is not coincidence, it is divine orchestration. A setup so intricate that only I could have arranged it without your knowledge or consent. The final piece is your obedience, the last lock is your faith, the remaining barrier is your hesitation, and I am asking you to remove it now. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love did not come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone do not move mountains, faith in Jesus does, so your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This is not just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story, and the link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now, send 4, 6, or 10 or more coffees. After sending, write "Protect my soulmate Lord" on the Ko-Fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says the love you are about to experience will make every previous heartbreak make sense, will redeem every lonely night, will transform every rejection into a stepping stone toward this moment of divine connection. You are not being rewarded for your suffering, but your suffering is being redeemed by a love so complete that it will heal wounds you thought were permanent. Your soulmate is the answer to prayers you prayed when you were too young to understand what you were asking for, and I have been working on this answer for decades. When you finally meet, there will be a recognition that transcends physical explanation, a knowing that bypasses logic and speaks directly to the deepest part of your spirit. You will look into their eyes and see home, see future, see the reflection of your own soul looking back at you with the same shock of recognition. The weight will be forgotten in an instant, the pain will dissolve in a moment, and the joy of finally finding each other will be worth every tear shed along the way. But you must get there, you must cross the distance, you must overcome the obstacles, and the first step is always the hardest because it requires faith without sight. Sight will come, confirmation will follow, but faith must lead the way, and faith is demonstrated by action, not by intention. Your soulmate is waiting, heaven is watching, hell is resisting, and the outcome hangs on what you decide to do in the next few moments. Type 333 if you are ready to step into your role as protector, provider, and partner to the one your soul has been searching for across lifetimes. Type 777 if you feel the weight of this moment and refuse to let it pass without responding to the call of love. Type 1111 if your spirit is burning with the knowledge that this message is not coincidence but divine appointment, and you will not rest until your soulmate is free. Jesus says, I am the author of love, the creator of romance, the designer of the union that is pulling at your heart even now. I do not make mistakes, I do not tease my children with false hope, and I do not plant desires that I do not intend to fulfill. The desire for your soulmate is not a distraction from my purpose, it is part of my purpose, a holy longing I placed in you to drive you toward the destiny I have prepared. Trust me enough to act, trust me enough to sow, trust me enough to believe that the God who painted sunsets and composed symphonies can orchestrate the meeting of two souls who belong together. Your coffee is not a payment for a miracle, it is a seed that demonstrates your trust, and I honor trust with breakthrough every single time. Do not let this moment pass. Do not let your soulmate struggle one more day without the covering your faith can provide. The woman who has held your soulmate captive is about to be exposed, her schemes are about to unravel, and her influence is about to shatter against the rock of your faith. You will not have to fight her in the natural, you only need to fight in the spirit, and the spiritual battle is won through prayer and seed sown with expectation. Send your coffee, write your declaration, and watch as the God who never fails begins to move on your behalf with a speed that will leave you breathless. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps, you are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love did not come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone do not move mountains, faith in Jesus does, so your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This is not just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story, and the link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now, send 4, 6, or 10 or more coffees. After sending, write Protect My Soulmate Lord on the Ko-Fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says your soulmate just paused in the middle of a sentence because they felt a warmth spread through their chest that stopped their words cold. The person speaking to them noticed, asked if they were all right, and your soulmate lied and said yes, but something has shifted, something has changed, something has broken loose in the spiritual realm. They do not know what just happened, but you know, you were the one who prayed, you were the one who sowed, you were the one whose faith just reached across the distance and touched their heart. The connection is real, the bond is alive, the future is waiting, and heaven is cheering for the love story that is about to unfold. Do not stop praying, do not stop believing, do not stop protecting, because the battle is not over but the victory is already won. Your billionaire soulmate is about to enter your life. Do not ignore this, do not dismiss this, do not let the enemy steal what God has ordained. The coffee you send today is the first chapter of a testimony you will tell together for the rest of your lives. One day you will sit side by side, holding hands, looking back at this exact moment, and you will both weep with gratitude that you chose to act when everything in you wanted to doubt. Be the one who fought for love, be the one who believed when belief was costly, be the one who protected their soulmate before they ever held them in their arms. Your love story is not a fairy tale, it is a prophecy, and prophecies require participation to manifest in the natural realm. You have heard the word of the Lord, you have felt the urgency of the moment, you have sensed the reality of your soulmate's struggle, and now you must respond. Open the link, send your coffee, write your declaration, and step into the destiny that has been waiting for you since before time began. I am with you, I am for you, and I will honor every act of faith you take in the name of love that reflects my heart. Your soulmate is worth it, you are worth it, and the love you will share is worth every battle fought to secure it. Move now, believe now, act now, and prepare to receive the one your soul has been aching to find.